From the shores of Lake Erie and Northeast Ohio, it's time for Cleveland at Night. This is Cleveland at Night's October Special 2020. On this episode of Cleveland at Night, we'll be featuring Northeast Ohio's home haunts.
Go from door to door and you'll collect a sweet surprise. We love it so, it's time for us to grow, grow, grow. Oh, Halloween, we love it so. It's time for us to grow.
On that face of yours. Smiles or screams. Either way works for me.
Mess with it, but every now and then
You're watching Cleveland at Night special presentation of Royal Scare. 2020 is their final season, a must-see home haunt attraction, Royal Scare in North Royalton, 12043 Padua Drive East. Monday through Thursday, they close at 9 o'clock. Weekends open later. You must bring your whole family and see Royal Scare, their final season, 2020. All right, gang. Cleveland at Night, Halloween special. We're at our first home haunt in North Royalton called Royal Scare, and I'm with
Paul Tylicki of Royal Scare. I am the creator, the mastermind behind all the madness.
That's right. And we were at the Daughter Ghoul Show. We were back here in 2012, 2014, and we're back right here to show you all the action right here for Royal Scare 2020. Paul, question.
Yes.
When I did it back in 2012, that was your 13th year.
13th year, yes.
Okay, so the first years you were in what city?
Garfield Heights. I did it for 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. I moved to North Royalton in 2004. So 2004 was my actual first year in North Royalton.
First year in North Royalton.
Yes.
And the Daughter Girl Show was out here in 2012. I remember there was one of your first sites. It was always in the front yard.
Always in the front yard.
Yeah. And you had a Frankenstein laboratory. That was your first year for 2012.
Yeah, my neighbor down the street had an 8x10 shed, and he let me set it up in my yard, and I made a Frankenstein, which is right behind me here.
Yeah,
he's actually right behind me.
You're right.
And, he was in the front yard, and that's when I really started to kick off.
Yeah, that's right.
Back then, I only did the front yard. And it's funny because it was so close. It was between me and my neighbor's yard. My daughter backed out and actually hit it. and almost knocked the whole shed over.
Yeah, I remember your hearse too. Yeah, was that the first year you bought the hearse for $600?
$600, yes. And I used to park it in the front. Unfortunately, because I parked it in the front, the moisture from the grass rotted out the fuel line. So it's been parked in my backyard ever since.
Yeah, and 2012, we're going to have a flashback. Is one of your first items, Halloween items, decor you bought? It was like the little midget guy.
Yes.
In 1980. Talk about that.
Yeah, he's.
Where's he at?
Oh, he's in the Christmas house. Yes,
Okay.
I used to have a store called Rock City Comics in Garfield Heights, and I bought him at Kmart for like $70 or something like that, and I still use him today.
Wow.
And there's actually a couple things. I even have a Grim Reaper from 1978 that I still use in my
That's
front
amazing.
yard.
All right. Hey, let's talk about your daughter.
Okay.
Because 2012, you told me in the interview,
Yes.
your daughter and you went to like the Metro Parks and got all these branches for the for the fencing going around.
Yes, if you look, I got fantastic fences made out of sticks. And in living in Garfield Heights, I had no access to branches, so we had to go to the national park in Valley View there, and we walked over hills and valleys looking for branches to drag back to my truck to throw it into my truck and make a fence out of it. I mean, we're talking miles. She was only 6 years old at the time.
6?
6 years old. And
Okay, now let's go back. How old is she now?
She is 27 years old.
Wait, 27?
27.
Out of college and having
Out
fun.
of college, she's going to have a baby in March.
Wow.
And she got married at the peak of the COVID in Utah. We drove out to Utah for her to get married March 13th. It was like Shangri-La out there. Nobody even paid any attention. Bars, restaurants were open. Meanwhile, back in Cleveland, they were shutting everything down.
Yeah. You know, another special with your family. You were in Family Feud this year, right?
Family Feud. Actually, in 2018, we were on Family Feud.
Wow, Family
2 years
Feud.
old. Yeah.
And your daughter showed the ring. She worked for the Cavaliers.
She was the Cavaliers' daughter.
Yeah,
My
your other daughter.
Yeah, my other daughter.
Talk about that. She won a ring.
She was a Cavaliers cheerleader in 2016, and she won a Cavaliers ring. And then we were on the Family Feud, and she wore it on the Family Feud. Well, as I'm getting ready to announce my family, Steve Harvey sees the ring and shuts me down right away and went on this 5-minute stint about the Cavaliers ring. He was wearing it, showing it. So, I mean, I'm sure that increased the value of it.
I bet you Steve Harvey, he's a Cleveland guy.
He is a Cleveland guy.
So he probably sitting in the ring going, holy mackerel.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, if you Google or YouTube, Drown's Family Feud, because that's my wife's last name. We used her name.
Right.
Google YouTube, Drown's Family Feud, and there's the skit of that. You could watch it.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Would you like more information on home haunts in Northeast Ohio and their locations? Find more home haunts, go to the Cleveland Haunt Club sites, click on the Home Haunt map, and it will give you locations of all the home haunts and also yard displays throughout Northeast Ohio. That's clevelandhauntclub.com. One word, clevelandhauntclub.com.
You were 2012 was only in the front yard.
Only in the front yard.
And all of a sudden, why don't you expand to the backyard?
Well, actually, because you were going to do the Daughter of the Ghoul show in
That's
my
right.
backyard, so I figured, you know what, I will expand it into my backyard, but it didn't really go. I mean, it came just from here to there and out, and then that was it. And then the very next year, my daughter Rose says, we should go into the woods, and then that's when we went into the woods, and and then my cousin Chad, who did this in Medina, but because he lived in a development that had an association, they would not let him put up a fence or put up any kind of structure. So he gave up on it, gave me all his stuff, and that gave me enough stuff to do the backyard.
All right. Well, back in 2012, you had the hearse,
Yes.
Frankenstein. Now you grew from 2014 with video with the Goth God.
Yes.
What have you added since 2014 to 2020?
Oh my gosh, I have a swamp room now, which is fantastic. Probably my greatest or funnest thing for the people to come through. It's actually, you feel like you're walking in a swamp. Fantastic. I got a huge carnival scene, Camp Crystal Lake scene. Everything is set to like 1978, so it's actually a way to go back into time. Imagine the most amazing painting you could see, and you ever think about how awesome a painting is that you wish you could walk into it?
Yes.
That's my yard. My yard is that fantastic painting that you can walk into.
Yeah, it's amazing, Paul. I was sitting in my car watching people walk through. They were so scared even to go in there. And a lot of cars are going by watching the front.
Yes.
You got to get out of your car and walk through this attraction because it's one of the best home haunts in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I don't like to brag, but I am the only 5-star haunted house in Northeast Ohio.
I believe it. You are.
If you Google haunted houses near me, Royal Scare shows up first. So when people come here, they think it's like a building with monsters and actors, and it's a house.
You're right.
It's a house. So people drive by and they're like, "Well, this is a house. This ain't a building." I think, well, of course, it's my yard, but it's definitely worth the walk through. You got to get out and check it out.
Yeah, right before this segment, I talked to Jeff Hartz,
yes,
the Cleveland Haunt Club, and he promotes home haunts in Northeast Ohio. But I'll tell you right now, folks, Cleveland at Night rates this #1, the best home haunt in Northeast Ohio. You got to visit it.
And the best part about it, it's free, everybody. We do have a donation box, but there's no pressure to put anything in. I mean, where can you take a date or your family and spend, you could spend a half hour, you could spend 2 hours here. You could go through as many times as you want, and you have to because there's so much you could miss, just walking through. And try not to be too afraid so you can sit back and enjoy all the detail that my yard offers.
Another big thing, Paul, I took my grandson for the last 2 years.
Yes.
He's scared the first time.
Yes.
Go to second, third, fourth, fifth time.
Yes.
Because you miss the scenery that you build, and that's the greatest thing of this home haunt is the scenery. But go around. When you go around once, go second, third, fourth time. I love it.
And a lot of times, kids are so afraid to come through. But once they get in here and find out how fantastic it is, you can't get them out.
Exactly.
And another thing, too, is girls do so much better than boys. So come on, boys. Pull your pants up and let's get in here and don't be such a crybaby.
Okay, now 2012, 2014, we videotaped it for the Daughter Ghoul show. But when did you start doing the live actors? The live actors are out there now.
Well, you know what? It was always about the scenery. And it stood on its own. I didn't need to have actors. But because I expanded so much, so many people love to scare. It's in their blood. So I decided, well, okay, I'll give it a shot here and there. I do have the best chainsaw guy in Northeast Ohio. Undoubtedly the best chainsaw guy. Brent Takancic. If there was a chainsaw competition, I would bet my house on it. Yes.
I was here for 2 hours right now, tonight, and I was waiting for an interview and say, Paul, come on. He goes, well, I have to wait till everyone's all done. But so many people came through and were scared by the chainsaw guy.
Sure.
That was awesome.
Oh, it's so awesome. And, it's simple scares, too. It's like the same scares that they would do in the 1930s, the drop ghost, baby on a swing. It's just fantastic.
The best home haunt in Northeast Ohio, Royal Scare. Come out and see it. This could be the last year for 2020. Location 12043 Petawa Drive East, in North Royalton, Ohio. Visit the website or go to Facebook for more information.
How many years have you been doing this now?
Well, I go back to when I first started the fence, when I would go out and get a fence and actually put a fence around my border, and that was in 2000. But I've been doing this since like the early 90s. And like my kids, this is all they know. They have no idea that what life would be like without Halloween.
That's
Or
fantastic.
Royal Scare, I should say.
All right.
I always wasn't Royal Scare, but because I was getting so big, I needed to get a name out there. So I figured, North Royalton, Royal Scare. Actually,
Yeah.
I liked it Royal Scream, but on the sign, Royal Scare looked better than Scream.
I'm glad you said that. You know why? Because in 2012 was called the Halloween House, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Halloween House.
Yeah.
You didn't even.
Everybody in the neighborhood called it that.
You didn't even establish a name at that
No,
time.
I did not. No. I know.
I interviewed Jeff Hartz
Yes.
from the Cleveland Hunt Club.
Yes.
They said this is your final year.
It is my-
No!
I know.
No, don't do it. Why is it your final year? How many years? 20 years
20
in
plus
best?
years, yeah. 20 years with the fence, 2000 and 2020. It's just time. There's so much more I want to do. I use 5 weeks vacation, 5 sick days to do this every year. I'm going to be a grandfather in March.
That's
Just,
congratulations.
thank you so very much. Yeah, so Rose was just a baby. Now she's going to be a mom and have her own baby, which she's really upset because her son, my grandson, will never know this experience.
You're exactly right.
Yes.
Well, Paul, if this is your last year, Cleveland and I was out here to videotape your last year.
Yes.
And honest to God, folks, you have to come see us. This is going to be airing very soon on YouTube, Facebook, and cable companies all over the place. You got to come see this home on. You will be amazed by it. Amazed by it. Paul, add into what do you want to say?
This is a very difficult time for me because it is my last year, but I am super proud of I couldn't have dreamed that it would turn out to be like this. I mean, when I was doing it in Garfield Heights, I was looking at old pictures, and I used to think, oh man, what a fantastic job. But I don't know. It's just so
Well, the one thing I got to say, Paul, 2012, the Dollar Gold Show was out here, and every time I came out, I didn't videotape it, but I came every year to see it. You're like Cedar Point.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
You know what it is? Every time I came here, there was something added. Like the
always.
backyard, the whole shot, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes.
It's the most, again, folks, the best home haunt in Northeast Ohio. You got to see it this year before he tears it down.
I like it. Right, let's start fighting.
Believe me. Put it this way: no matter how cool you can imagine it to be, it will be 10 times better than you could imagine, and I guarantee that.
All right, you take donations.
I do.
Which it pays electricity.
It does.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing out there, Paul. I've been to a lot of haunted houses, Indiana, Michigan, all over the place. Pittsburgh,
Yes.
PA. They cost $40 to watch or come into their home on.
Yes.
Yours is what?
It's free. I told Danny 8 years ago, it was free. And today, even 8 years ago, it was free. And today, even with inflation, it's still free.
Exactly. You take donations, but
Take donations.
yeah.
Yes.
And 1 year you made, well, I remember.
It was
$30
$20.
bucks, 20 bucks.
$30 the first year.
You know what I like about it, Paul? Let's go back to 2012, an interview. You bought a attraction for a 6-pack of Paps. Remember that one?
It's not a real tombstone. A friend of mine, Gary Zigray, works for Great Lakes Theater, and one of his buddies found that on Train Avenue in Cleveland, laying right in the middle of the road. And they had it, and it sat in their prop shop for several years, and they wanted to know if I had it, and I just had to buy them a 12 of Pabst Blue Ribbon for it.
Because we drank the Pabst.
Yeah, no. I'm a grandfather now.
Okay.
And my name is Paps.
Oh,
so I bring Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah, we're doing a flashback on that one. Paul,
Yes.
give us your address.
My address is 12043 Padua Drive East, and that's in North Royalton, Ohio. I do have a website called royalscare.com, and you could also find me on Google haunted houses near me, and it'll come up with my address. And then please rate me. Like I said, I'm the only 5-star rated haunted house in Northeast Ohio.
Yes, yeah, and Cleveland Nite rates them 5 stars also.
Awesome.
You are the best, Paul.
But thank you so much.
And we're gonna
Danny.
miss you. Is this your last year?
It is.
We're gonna miss you.
Well, thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate it so much.
All right.
Because I've known you and I love you too. Thank you.
All right. This is Danny K from Cleveland Nite. We have more home haunts coming right after this. Stick around. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Do you want to find more home haunts like Royal Scare North Royalton? Well, go to the Cleveland Haunt Club site at clevelandhauntclub.com. Click on the map button for 2020 and see all the great home haunts in Northeast Ohio. And don't forget, take your whole family and visit the best home haunt in Northeast Ohio, Royal Scare, 12043 Padua Drive East in North Royalton. This will be the last season for Royal Scare. Go out and see it.
When the candy's gone, we pumpkins know it's time for us to go, go, go. When the candy's gone, we pumpkins know it's time for us to go.